What up and welcome back. We're going to get the character set up and the scene set up for jumping. Now jumping's a bit of a complicated process, so there'll be a couple steps in the process. First we're going to get the character ready and some things in the scene, then we're going to go into the animator, get things set up in there, then we'll go into code. I may break this up into mini videos, we'll see. So why don't we start by creating a little null object on the bottom of our character. So we'll right click and go create empty, and I am going to name this ground check, just like that. Okay, I'm going to give it a different color here by clicking right there, giving it a tag, and I will go ahead and drag this onto our player. But first I need to position it right at his feet. So let me zoom in here, middle mouse scroll. I'll position it right there at his feet, just like that. Okay, that looks good. Now it's gonna check and see if whether or not he's touching the ground. So we need to set up some objects with a tag that will let us do that. So let's go to our first object that he's gonna land on, this cloud right here, and I'm actually gonna go into this layer button here, and I'm going to add layer, and I will call this ground. Just like that. Okay, now everything we want him to land on, we're going to have to do the same thing with. And now might be a good time to talk about something called prefabs. I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder over here. So I'll right click, create folder. I'm going to call it prefabs. Now what a prefab is I can get up an object like this all set up, and I'll have things tagged on it. I'll have colliders on it. Everything I want on this game object. And then I can drag it into prefab here. So we'll just rename this to cloud1, and that's a prefab. If I just go ahead and drag it down in here to the prefabs, now I can drag this prefab out anywhere on the board. I could scale it and make it, different, but it'll still have that ground layer, and it will still have its collider, and he'll still be able to jump on this object. So that's cool. When you're building games, generally you have a lot of assets down here in the prefab. So let's go into the animator here, and I've got this. If you go into your animations folder, and hopefully you've created some kind of a jump animation. I created a really simple one here. I called it dragonfly, even though he's not flying, he's jumping. I'm going to put that right there, and I'm going to right click to make transition. I'm going to transition down here. I'll right click on this one, make transition up here, because what I want to do is I want to be able to transition from him idling to him flying, and then or jumping rather, and then we'll go from walking the same way. Actually, we just need to go this way right here, so that while he's walking he can still jump. Okay, and so I'm going to actually create a new parameter over here. I'll hit plus, and we're actually going to make and create a boolean called isGrounded. And if he is grounded, then he will be going into idle. So let's click right here from jump to idle. Let's add that parameter here. Should be right here, isGrounded. If isGrounded is true, then he'll move back into idle. So once again, I'm going to move these animations over here, bring this over here and shorten it so that it jumps right into that animation. And I'll go ahead and go over to this transition between idle and fly, and click this button, go to isGrounded. If isGrounded is false, then he's going to go into this jump phase, right? Once again, moving these animations over, just like that. And then last here, if he's walking and isGrounded is false, then he'll go into the jump. Just like that. Okay, so now we should be set up perfectly in Unity. Now we need to go into code and add some lines of code. So I'll see you in that next video.